All right, so for the second time, I guess in what, 10 days, 11 days, the Leafs and Oilers will go toe-to-toe on Hockey Night in Canada. The last game, I believe, was on a Wednesday a couple weeks back in Edmonton, a 5-2 win for the Oilers. Would that be brought up in the room first and foremost in the pre-scout? Would they bring back that game and say, guys, you stunk up the joint that night?
Yeah, I mean, I think they would definitely have watched video about what happened, and they would have broken that down yesterday. Um, Maybe this morning. This morning, you'd stay on some positive stuff and show what we need to do on the power play, and they'd have special teams video and meetings and whatnot, and they'd definitely touch on why you lost and watch the video of it to give examples so guys can actually see. And then game day, it's kind of getting more on the positive track. Like, let's get jacked up. Let's start getting ready. And you can't dwell on the past anymore on game day, but they've definitely looked at it, addressed it, had meetings about it, and gone over it. So they should be hyper aware of what happened and why they lost. And sometimes that stuff is important, and sometimes you just got to do it depending on how you lost and what the circumstances were. But they have a fresh look at these guys, and they know quite a bit about them, playing them just 10 so days ago, like you said. But Oilers are kind of coming in on a high, that's for sure.
Oh, dude, they're feeling it. They go into Boston last night. The Bruins had lost or won 10 in a row, excuse me. The Bruins haven't lost more than one in a row this season. It's crazy. But the big story for me is that Connor McDavid is really quiet last night, which is scary for Leafs fans because he's rolling into town on Saturday night. He had one shot, 0 points, and a -1. It really, really is crazy. I don't think Edmonton gets enough respect for how much depth they have up front. They got Evander Kane back in the mix. Zach Hyman, former Leafs, had a great year. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has been fantastic. Some of their bottom six guys have really elevated. Evan Bouchard scores last night. We'll get to the goaltending conversation as well, but they're feeling pretty damn good coming into town because they're in the rare, group of teams, including the Maple Leafs, who have actually beat Boston this year in regulation.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and that's bang on. They did it with their depth last night. They had,
Yeah.
D-man score and different guys step up, and it wasn't just Connor McDavid going end to end twice to tie the game. It was the opposite, really. So good on them for showing their depth. I mean, it's what they've lacked. They got the two best players in the league in a lot of ways, doing almost everything for them. And I think they've proven that you can't go the distance with that. And if they start showing a lot of depth and they can fill holes
Mhm.
when Connor isn't having 3-point nights, look out. This team could be very solid. And you touched on it there. They get some goaltending. Sky's the limit for them, and they showed it last night by holding strong and showing a huge third period and beating Boston. Man, shocked them in their own barn. So they'll be coming in hot, and it kind of sucks that Connor McDavid will be doing some refocusing here coming into Toronto, and that's not great for the Leafs fans, but they'll have to prove they can shut him down and play their game too.
It really is scary, not to mention Darnell Nurse, the rare hero in that game. He struggled offensively once again this year, but really starting to cook are the Edmonton Oilers, and they score big time 2 points on the road. Watch out for Edmonton when it comes to the Pacific Division. I was going to ask you too, like that dreaded first game back after a long road trip. Would you be more concerned if you were the Leafs if like that game was 2 games after you've had a couple days to rest and chill out after a trip on the West Coast?
No, I like it. They've been home. They've gotten comfortable. They've gotten back into their comfort zone in their own building with their own facilities. Everybody's there. You're at home. You see the family. You're not living out of a suitcase. You don't have a shitty bed or whatever that you don't like in the hotel. Everything's normal, and they're back to their routine basically. So I expect them to be ready and focused and chomping at the bit to get going again here. And I don't think it's a bad deal at all. They're back home where they've had success.